A crosstown killing in Chicago. Hi and welcome to Fantasy Baseball presented by Levitra here on CBSSports.com. I'm Amber Wilson. The best just keep getting better on the north side of Chicago as the Cubs swept the AL Central leading Chicago White Sox in dominating fashion this weekend. It took the Cubs 6 innings to get going, but once they did, they poured it on, shutting down the Sox bats and knocking the ball over the yard. It was Aramis Ramirez who started the Cubs off on the right foot. In the first game of the series, he tied the game with a solo shot in the 7th and won it with a walk-off in the 9th, and he didn't stop there. Ramirez would homer in each of the next 2 games as he punished the Southsiders for 4 in total and 8 RBI in the 3-game series. What makes that even more interesting is that Ramirez had only 1 home run since May 26th before this most recent outburst, but it shouldn't be that big of a surprise. Ramirez is a career .382 hitter versus the White Sox with 11 home runs in just 30 games, and the Cubbies have a return visit with the Sox, this time on the south side this weekend. Ryan Dempster will get the ball in Game 1 of that series, and he's been as hot as anybody on the Cubs of late. He's 4-0 in his last 6 starts. He went 8 innings on Sunday night to beat the Sox, close to notching his second complete game in 3 starts. He hasn't lost since May 22nd. The White Sox are still in first after the 3-game sweep, but not by that much anymore. They had a 6.5-game lead just a couple of weeks ago, but the Twins have caught fire to trim 5 games off of that deficit, and they might be getting some more good news. Francisco Liriano could be back as soon as early July. Liriano was sent down in April to AAA after 3 erratic starts, but in his last 4 in Rochester, he has walked only 6 batters while striking out 26. So keep your eyes out for his return to the Twins rotation, and keep it right here because after the break, Eric Mack and Jamie Eisenberg will answer your emails. Stick around.
Welcome back to Fantasy Baseball, and today is a monumental day at CBSSports.com because Eric Mack is wearing a different shirt than what he normally wears on video, and it's also a free shirt, so good job by you.
You're going to get a free punch in the face.
Wow, good stuff there. Let's get to the emails.
Question 1 comes from Alfredo Castro. I was just proposed a trade. Jay Bruce for Mike Gonzalez. I already have Brandon Lyons, CJ, and Brian Wilson for my saves guys, and I need help in the outfield. Should I give up Gonzo even though he has a chance to be the most consistent of my closers?
That trade's almost as awful as your breath. Why don't you take that one?
Whatever. I think Gonzalez is not your most consistent closer. It's Brandon Lyon. Now, the D-backs have struggled recently with their offense and get wins, but the D-backs are a better contender than the Braves. And Mike Gonzalez is coming off Tommy John surgery, so he's not going to work back-to-backs, and he's not going to work 3 consecutive save opportunities, so he's going to share saves. I think Gonzo for Bruce is an excellent deal that you have to make.
It is an excellent deal that you have to make. I think Bruce, although he's been disappointing his last 15 games, no home runs, I don't think he's had any multi-hit games since June 7th, which is terrible. But I don't know if I agree with you so much that the Diamondbacks are a better contender than the Braves, although the Braves have struggled recently. The Diamondbacks haven't been very good at all, but I agree with you. Jay Bruce for Mike Gonzalez is a great, great trade.
Hold on, you're wrong. The D-backs are a better contender. The only problem with the D-backs is that they've been playing games out of their division. With the divisional play coming back to the D-backs, they're going to dominate their division and they're going to win a lot of ball games.
But wouldn't you agree that when the Braves get healthy that they'll be more of a contender?
They have
in
a
the
tougher
NL East?
division.
Very true, but the Diamondbacks have been playing very, very poor.
Diamondbacks are better next.
They can't
Question
play
2
away
comes from Todd Riley. In a nutshell, what do I do with Brad Penny? Hang on to him or let him go?
Well, you're going to hold on to Brad Penny. I mean, I know he struggled recently before the shoulder injury, and hopefully the shoulder will get better. But Brad Penny, when he's able to be healthy, he's a very good pitcher. I think he'll get back to being a good performer. In head-to-head leagues, he's going to give you a little bit more value probably than roto leagues, so I think Brad Penny is worth holding on to at this point.
I agree with Jamie partly. Brad Penny is a hold because he's expected to return from the DL when first eligible at the end of this month. But shoulder problems notoriously kill pitchers. You saw Mark Pryor and such. Shoulders are not easy to come back from when they're injured, and if he injures it further, he could be real problematic for you. I am not certain that Brad Penny is going to be a fantasy ace anytime the rest of the year, but you do have to hold him because you can't just give him away for free. You bought too high on him.
So if you have him in your lineups, would you just put him on the keep him reserved when he does come back, and then just hope to see how he does?
Yeah, I think you have to hope.
Question 3, Dave Valenta just traded for Aaron Harang. Is he going to find his old form, or will he continue his disappointing performances? Should I look to trade him? I could use a first baseman. What could I get for him?
Well, I think Aaron Harang is another pitcher that you paid dearly for on draft day. You have to hold on to him. He's been losing a lot of games because the Reds are not a great contender, but their bats will heat up. Adam Dunn has been in a slump. He's going to heat up. Jay Bruce is going to hit stride in his first year, and Harang is going to be a winning pitcher. Now, his record right now looks awful, but don't judge a pitcher on his record. That is the worst stat to go by in judging pitchers. Go by ERA, WHIP, and strikeout to walk ratio. You know, those are the numbers I really look at. And Harang isn't pitching as poorly as his record suggests right now.
Well, I think you're right in that regard, because you look at his one win in his last 5 games was against the Red Sox, which, as we know, is a good lineup. He went 7 innings, only gave up 1 run with 7 strikeouts. That's a good indicator that he is obviously a solid pitcher. But I got a question for you, Emac. There were some trades recently on CBSSports.com for some first baseman with Harang. He was traded in a package with Ichiro for Ryan Garko and Tim Lincecum, and he was also traded straight up for Paul Konerko. What do you think about those 2 trades?
Well, trading him up straight up for Paul Konerko was a bad move. I like getting Lincecum, but again, you're getting a pitcher on a bad team. So Lincecum here on out might be the equivalent of Harang, and you gave up Ichiro to do it. I didn't like either of those trades.
Yeah, I think you'll see Harang bounce back just because he is a good pitcher. Surprisingly, though, that you're getting Volquez and Cueto, and obviously Darrell Thompson, the rookie for the Reds, they're actually pitching better than Harang at this point.
Right, yeah. Harang is probably their 4th best pitcher, with Arroyo being the 5th best. But, you know, Harang is going to come around. The Reds are going to get a little better, and they're going to win more games consistently for him.
Well, for more information on a lot of your players on CBSSports.com, make sure you read all of our player updates, especially the readings of Eric Mack and Scott White, along with Michael J. Kirkham. And you can get more information by checking out all of our videos. So stay tuned right here, CBSSports.com, and also fantasynews.cbssports.com. And feel free to drop us an email, cmfantasybaseball@cbs.com.
You don't stop talking.
For Eric Mack and his bad breath and his free shirt, I'm Jamie Eisberg. Thanks for coming out.